Hey guys, I'm back again. This is Christine, your Mindset Master Doctor and Leverage for Change. And I'm back again with another video about attachment because I discovered this a couple months ago when I'm somebody who kind of tries to find as much information as possible so that I can help my clients. And I find that in relationships, there's so many different pieces that go together to form a good relationship. So I'm always on the lookout for just anything that might enhance my clients' lives and also give them a better chance of having successful relationships. Now, this one I'm going to speak about is I want to kind of give you an idea of how to kind of recognize different types of attachment styles early on in the dating process. That way you kind of save yourself some kind of anguish if you're aware enough. Because the thing about it, when you develop yourself, one of the things that you have to learn to become is to become very aware of the choices that you make and why you make them. And so I've been doing this for a while now. I took off at least 2 years to just work on me. So I'm at the point now I self-identify as really the anxious preoccupied. Out of all of them, this is the one I would be more that I recognize as some of the things that I used to do in relationships. I no longer do them because I've learned a lot, and I've also worked on myself. And so there are a lot of things here that did not apply, but as I mentioned, every attachment style is going to be on a continuum. There's a spectrum, so you have say from 1 to 10, you might be somewhere in the middle because of maybe you the experiences was not that drastic in your childhood, and so you may be at a 1, that you're really affected by the inconsistencies in your childhood with your caregivers. Or you may be at 1 might be just very, just a little touch of the anxious attachment thing, and then 10 might be like full blown. So I believe I was maybe about at maybe a 4, because a lot of these did not really apply to me. Because one of the things about somebody with this attachment style was that they had no self-confidence. Their self-image is really like down to the ground. They did not believe themselves worthy of good relationships. They do not believe themselves. They feel unloved, unwanted, or whatever it might be, and they're not able to leave relationships when they see that it's not working for them, or because they just don't want to be alone. And so I didn't have any of those problems. My biggest problem was that if I'm trying to communicate with someone and I text and then I don't hear anything for like a whole day, the next morning I go, what the heck is going on? I mean, they always have their phone with them. Why are they not responding? So that kind of more pisses me off, really, to tell you the truth. And so I'll just text back to back, and then afterwards, after whatever it is, and they don't text, I'll probably text a little nasty message, right? Or if it's somebody that I'm in relationship for a while or thing, I might do a call back to back if they really piss me off, because that's the anxiety part of this problem. That this attachment style, it makes you very anxious, and sometimes it makes you feel out of control, because depending on the situation and depending on how much you love that person, and so you feel that connection going, and it makes you very anxious. So a few of the things that you can look out for at the beginning in the dating process to kind of give you an idea of which attachment style this is. And this is the anxious preoccupied attachment I'm talking about. You'll maybe they say things that makes them, you'll realize that they are afraid of being abandoned. So there's a fear of abandonment, because they form because of the very strong inconsistencies. They they had when they were children from their caregivers. You know, one, they would cry and then they'd pick them up now, and then another time they'd cry and they wouldn't hear anything. They wouldn't, you know, so they didn't believe that they could depend on their caregivers. So they always fear being abandoned. They're always afraid that, you know, their caregivers are going to abandon them, and so they take these this same style of attaching to their caregivers into our relationships. We take it into our relationships with our intimate partners usually. So usually the anxious attachment person does not feel good enough, and they feel alone, and they have a fear of rejection and physical abandonment. They don't feel they're worthy of love. They have low self-esteem and low self-confidence. None of those apply to me. I was very comfortable being by myself. I lived alone for a very long time, and I didn't feel the need to go out looking for somebody or something. As a matter of fact, I remember the last time I dated, the person who asked me out was, I said, you know, I don't have any time, I'm really busy. And so it was, after he kind of continued, I'd kind of just say, okay, let me go out to dinner with you. But this is something that I never suffered from, but this is something that a lot of people, especially at the very low, you know, when they're really highly triggered by these things, they have the feeling of not being good enough. They feel unworthy. A lot of people that I've worked with, they have this problem. These are some of the things they say when they, you know, they speak about their experiences in a relationship. They'll say they feel unworthy. They don't feel, they feel like an option. They feel they're afraid of being rejected, and you'll see that in the fact that they tend to hold on to really bad relationships, even when it is hurting them every single day of their lives. Somebody who you're dating may easily look, when you, the thing that you'll notice is that they're easily overcome by emotions. You know, they're very emotional, and I am very emotional too, so I guess that is one part of it. I show my emotions, it's on my face, I can't help it. So, and the other thing is that they may ask questions that sound as if, you know, like almost they're like an instant relationship. You know, it's like they're just meeting for the one time, and then they may be asking questions far away in compared to, you know, which is not normal for somebody to be asking at that stage of the relationship, because it's as if they want this connection so quickly, because they crave connection. They crave that connection with someone else. They're masters at connecting with people. So am I. I can connect with anyone. Has a need to be seen, heard, or understood, and is more desirous of connecting with people. I like to connect to people. I really don't need to be seen, but of course, who doesn't like to be, you know, seen? But it's not like I go out there trying to do and say, hey, here I am, that kind of thing. But anyway, they think far out about the future of the relationships very quickly. So you may hear, so do you like this? Where would you like to live if you got married? Where would you like to this? And, you know, somebody actually asked me that on a date the other day, and I thought, I don't know you. I really don't know you. So would you think of moving to another country? Or he actually asked, so, and now that I'm, you know, I recognize that style as being also anxious, preoccupied attachment. So what kind of things do you like? What if you were to get married? Where would you like to get, you know, things like that. And I thought, this was the first time I'm meeting this person. I'm going, yeah, but I think we need some time to think about that, to get and see how this works. You know what I'm saying? But these are traits of the anxious preoccupied. They are going far down. They're almost another person. I seem to be attracting all these anxious preoccupied people, and so I think this one was a fearful avoidant. I think he was a mix of both, and I think he was anxious and preoccupied because he was like, do you understand that I want to be with you, that I want to date you, that I want to marry you? So I'm going, I haven't even met you yet. So these are things that you'll see from the anxious, preoccupied person. And you don't get a sense that they're hiding anything, because they're actually very out, you know, they it's almost like they wear their emotions on their sleeve. And I do tend to have that problem too. I wear my emotions on my sleeve sometimes, but I've gotten much better of controlling my emotions, and much better of being in control of anything and my environment. So it is something that you have to work on, guys, and it is possible for you to change these attachment styles. You have to really become very aware of your thought processes. You have to really come to terms with who you really are, and then try it. Because if you try and negate that and kind of like push it under the rug, you're never going to change. Because if you don't know what you are, then you can't change, right? How are you going to change to become something different? Anyway, so I hope that has helped in some way to kind of be able to recognize the anxious attachment style at the beginning of a relationship when you're dating, so that you don't put too much effort and too much emotional thing into it, and then realize, oh my God, no, I can't deal with this, right? So this is Christine, your Mindset Mastery Doctor and Leverage for Change. And please like my videos, share it with your friends, someone who may be able to find some use in this video, and please subscribe to my channel so that whenever new videos are out, you will get a notification. All right, guys, take care and have a great day. Bye.